made it to Mount Hood, our first stop of the night. I mean, it's so gorgeous here. Gonna really just kind of hang out here, I think, for sunset and for the night. And, I mean, if we can, don't see any signs to say we can't. Try and get some great sunset shots, maybe fly the drone. Such a beautiful spot. I mean, got a nice little river running along through here, Mount Hood in the background, sunset over that way. I mean, it's amazing here, you know? I love the Pacific Northwest. So let's see what we can get. Walking along this rocky white river just to try and find good composition to get maybe some long exposure shots of the river with Mount Hood on the other side. And it should be a good spot to try and make that happen. One of the biggest things when you go to a really cool spot like this is people are always like, oh, you know, pictures don't do it justice. You can't really tell how amazing it is. And there's actually a secret on how to make the pictures match what you saw. And the thing is, everyone goes to these places to take pictures. They're using their iPhones or something. Those have a really wide angle lens. And so it makes the mountains look really small. It spreads everything out. So you can't really get the mass of where you're at. So a trick to that is using compression, which means a zoom lens. So something where you zoom in on an object with a big object in the background, it adds compression, so it brings that background object closer to the foreground, making it more true to life, more true to what you actually see. So as you can tell right here, Peyton's a little tiny dot, and right now the lens is really wide, and so it doesn't look like true to where you're at. So if I take the lens and I zoom in, you can see how that background becomes so much closer and prominent, and it just makes it seem like the mountain is huge. And it's a really cool effect, and that's how you get, oh, pictures do it justice effect. We just got some awesome shots of Peyton hiking along this river. I mean, we're losing light, but I think both ways look so incredible, towards Mount Hood or towards the other hills over here. But the best part is the sleeping spot. I mean, you really can't beat sleeping next to a river with a mountain in the distance on the first night of your trip. It's pretty awesome. Anything to get the shot. Couldn't ask for a better first night on this little road trip in the mountains. I think we're just gonna hope for some good night skies, capture more of the sunset, and drink our wine, have a great night, and then we're gonna head to the gorge in the morning. So stay tuned. away from Mount Hood and took a little detour to this waterfall, White River Falls. See a little rainbow right there. It's pretty cool. It's too bright, it's too early in the morning, there's lots of harsh light, so it's not going to be great for pictures. But you know what, sometimes you just got to explore, you got to enjoy the nature around you. You don't always have to have a camera taking pictures. So we're really just here to relax, check out this awesome waterfall and this cool spot. I mean, maybe we'll get some shots, I don't know, but just a pit stop onto the next place, you know? So what do when the lighting conditions are so rough in midday that you can't get a good photo, a sellable photo? You really just leave the camera stuff back in the Jeep or a car or whatever, and you just explore it. You just have fun with it and get a little wet. But it's in our nature as photographers that even without having all of our camera equipment in such a beautiful spot, we have that little camera in our pocket that we break out to take pictures and video. I can't help it. Sometimes like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have left my camera in the car, but you know what? I'm gonna appreciate it even just a little bit more without the main camera. A couple pictures on the phone here and there is real quick and easy. Besides that, I can just enjoy it. And sometimes when you get to a really cool spot, there's way too many people to really want to have your camera out anyways. As a photographer, it's really important to sometimes leave the camera stuff behind. I mean, you really need to separate yourself for even just a minute to appreciate the beauty without being behind the lens. And it's a real good refresher. You don't always have to capture an award-winning photo at every scenic spot you go to. With that said, back to business. First few little views of the gorge. Super windy up here, just really hoping for a good sunset. With just a little bit more ways to go to the top. Let's see how it goes. We're up pretty high. It's really, really windy up here and it's really steep. I mean, it's really hard to tell just how crazy steep the trail is. I don't even know if there's gonna be a good sunset. Might have to scrap this trip. I mean, even just for the safety of it, it's so windy. It might be too risky.